You know, Rick is engaged.
Really? I mean, that makes sense. If
Yeah,
your
it does
whole
make
goal in life
sense.
is to constantly be in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
what size shoes do you wear?
It's a great question.
Kilgore! He is right on the money. I think he was here before we were streaming.
Wow, that makes sense.
What up, KV? Lucky Bat!
Luckiest, baddest.
Lucas Batus. Craig Turpin. Hi.
Hey.
Where is my Stonewall Grey?
I don't know what. I don't know what Lucky Bat's profile picture is, because in small it looks
It doesn't.
insane.
It's really hard to tell in small. It's a picture of a bat.
Well, I figured it was a picture of a bat, but it's a weird. I don't know what it is
It's a very
in small.
small part of a big picture that's also being shown in the smallest possible way. I don't like the round. I don't like round. I think they should. It was a mistake when
It's a lot of
yeah, when
wasted
Google switched
space.
to round. It is. Aw, thanks, Craig Turpin.
Glad you. Yeah. Glad you like the
We
airbrush
tried.
video.
I took your advice and didn't buy it. Do you mean an airbrush? I would definitely agree. If you don't want an airbrush, like if an airbrush doesn't get you excited, then don't buy one.
Yeah.
But if you're like, God damn, that looks amazing.
He gets me excited.
All I can think about is an airbrush. Buy one.
Gets me excited in more ways than one. What if I just like the airbrush as a friend?
It's hard to keep those personal relationships and professional relationships separate.
That's very true.
You know, you suddenly
It's
on the
really
one hand,
difficult.
you're like, well, I just like a 2 millimeter nozzle, and I really like, you know. But then all of a sudden,
Yep. It becomes a problem.
I really want to play around with
I have to go to a support
I
group
really want to
about
play
it.
around with a 2 millimeter nozzle. I think if I ever repaint my Necrons, I'll get one so that I can do a really good job doing the OSL on the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Because the three is just not enough control. The 3 is meant for putting paint down.
Mm-hmm.
I have the cheapy one with the Harbor Freight Tankless Mini. Those are great. Those work great. Nothing wrong with them. Most of the time, I would prefer something like that to my big old no-name compressor with a tank, because it's a little loud. And sometimes just a loud brrrr is not conductive to a nice painting session.
Mm-hmm. Good old Ashley, EOB fan club tuning in after a brief hiatus. We missed you.
Wow, well, welcome to the stream.
Well, we didn't stop, so where the hell were you?
I'm working on the body of the Chaplain today. I'm doing a little edge highlighting. And then I'll probably switch on over to the metal.
We're so lucky.
My first airbrush was the Plastic Testers airbrush that used cans of propellant. Does anybody remember the Games Workshop airbrush? It was shaped a little bit like a flamer. I think it was like $25. You had to buy a can of propellant. It was an absolute disaster, but I kind of want one.
Do they? Because they have they have their airbrush line.
They have an airbrush
obviously.
line, but
the great
they definitely
airbrush
don't
line.
sell an airbrush.
They're missing out.
Some of us have lives. What even is that?
Apparently, some of us lie. Okay.
A nice nutty flavor. Oh, the tester's paints will knock you out.
That's why we should be using them.
You know,
You get a little painting done, you go to bed.
forever.
That simple. Yeah. You build up a tolerance. I think we should get the complete Citadel brush set for $200.
Citadel brush set or Citadel paint set?
Citadel brush set.
I've had mixed luck with this the Citadel brushes. I have 2. And neither of them lasted that long.
Yeah. I haven't had a Citadel brush at all. Haven't had any of them.
I'm currently running a 3mm nozzle in my Harder & Steinbeck Infinity. A 2mm nozzle. A 2mm nozzle has an incredibly fine needle point. I have accidentally... when I used to use one, I would stab myself. I would bend it on accident by removing the tip dry. It's a little bit delicate. The 3mm is a lot more rugged. Is my airbrush on the table? No, because why would it be? The 3mm nozzle, if you really take a good look at it, the point is actually rounded. It's a lot more rugged. The 2mm though is great if you want to be spraying like really, really fine lines. It lets significantly less paint through the gun, which is often what you want for really fine detail work.
I'm looking up. I looked up the Citadel paint gun. It's a thing of beauty. All these posts are from 2015.
That would have been prime time for us rocking up to the store.
Someone really likes it and wants to know if people are using it in 2020. No. They're the only one. Last one.
Hope.
You
Hello.
think you can buy one on eBay?
Eyeball, lips, eyeball. Vallejo pigments have a very, very weird mouthfeel. It's sort of like, you know how cinnamon really dries out your mouth?
Mouthfeel?
Like it really takes away all of your moisture. Same thing with some Vallejo like earth, or some Vallejo, pigments. It's very dry.
You gave a little taste
of course.
test? Oh.
Yeah, I squirt a little.
That's very interesting.
Just a little bit of Airgrex Earthshade into all of my beverages.
Oh.
P3 has like a.
I know you like your beverages on the
P3
rocks.
has like a nice
And you actually
oaky
put,
aftertaste.
you actually put real rocks in there.
I do. I always put real rocks in, which I shouldn't do because it'll always destroy the paint. Because sometimes you can't tell if it's a rock or a piece of tool steel. Rails of pigments. That'd probably do a little damage.
I thought I saw a mirror on your hobby desk.
Oh yeah, this
That
is a
makes
piece of
sense.
glass, perfect for doing lines. I think it's like 20 inches long, so just
Mhm.
shoop. Ah,
Yep.
nonstop party.
You'll be painting for
Mm-hmm.
days or passed out. Mostly that one.
Oh my goodness, is my paint all? Yep,
Yeah.
my Vallejo Ghost Gray is clogged because I don't use it very often. Oh my god, it is. Look at that. That is soupy. I don't know if I can save this.
Wow.
Oh, if only it was in a paint pot.
That that oh my gosh, that was disgusting.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to choose a different color. I think I can bring it back, but it's gonna require like stirring in.
A vortex mixer?
No, it's gonna require me to stir in some matte medium, put a couple of rocks in as agitators. I haven't left my desk in 6 months. Me either.
That's why you're here that's why you're here
Mm-hmm.
right away. Right when the stream starts, you're on. The EOB fan clubs loves the spooky backgrounds.
Yeah.
Love the spooky background, but only a 9 out of 10 because we're missing potential spiders and webs. Well, we couldn't get
Yeah,
any.
there was no. We went out shopping today. We went everywhere looking for Halloween decorations, and we couldn't find anything. Party City had nothing. The Halloween store, Spirit Halloween, had nothing.
Yeah. It's almost like people gave up this year.
There's a GW Flamer airbrush on eBay for $100. What I would like to do is meet someone who like bought one back in the day, and now has no more use for it because you can't get the propellant, and just gives it to me, and I'll figure out how to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I found it. Jeez. It's actually $110 for shipping. Or you can get one from Australia.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Ahoy. Can the book be left of the bike? This book? Like
Left off
the
the
one
bike.
right on. Can I put it in different places?
Or maybe not have it.
You could definitely not have it pretty easily. Just clip off these chains. It's regular bikes don't have it though. Just the Chaplain bike, and it kind of makes sense for the Chaplain to have his prayers. God's eye ones. I'm in my basement, so there are real ones everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I have no. I am not wanting for real spiders. I got enough.
Mm-hmm. There actually are real spiders in the web. You just can't see them. Whiskey Tango. I mean, is the model such that you have to leave it on? Just thinking about mods.
No, you could definitely easily take it off. Mine is glued on right now. But if you left off the book and clipped these 4 chains, there would just be one little square peg you'd have to fill in. And you could probably the chains on top of the book are sculpted in, so you'd have to keep this kind of configuration, but you could probably figure out a way to chain it somewhere else. If you wanted to keep the book, just not put it on top. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Can he swing from a web? And he can. Here comes a Spider-Man.
It's copywritten.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get
We just got
Yeah, we just got demonetized.
in trouble. Chain a little snotling.
Yeah, I like the book because it's even more appropriate for a Black Templar chaplain, because Black Templar chaplains serve the same purpose as librarians do in other chapters. They're kind of keepers of the records, keepers of the rituals. I like the spiders in the basement because I don't get any other bugs. Spiders get them first, and then we high five.
Yeah. You high eight.
Anybody see the Into the Spider-Verse? I didn't see that movie for the longest time because I had just watched Spider-Man Homecoming and thought it was awesome. And it's animated and it kind of looked a little bit maybe for kids, so I was like, eh. But then I finally watched it, I think when it was on Netflix, and it's one of the goddamn best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so good. It's easily the best Spider-Man movie. And there are some pretty good Spider-Man movies.
Wow.
The film's legit. When he gets ready to take the leap of faith. What a good movie. What a gosh darn good movie. I think, what did I watch? Me and a friend of mine went to the movie theater because we wanted to go see a movie, but we couldn't decide what to watch. So I think we watched Beauty and the Beast, the Emma Watson movie, and then we watched Spider-Man Homecoming. I hated Beauty and the Beast and loved Spider-Man, and she hated Spider-Man but loved Beauty and the Beast.
That's wonderful.
Beauty and the Beast was fine. It's kind of boring. And it's like, as soon as it's live action, you start to like actually wonder about what's happening.
Think.
Like, hey, how come the staff had to be turned into pots and pans? Because the prince was a douche.
Mm-hmm.
That seems a little weird that the child of the nanny has to suffer.
Mm-hmm. You start really actually thinking about,
because it's really there in front of you. Like,
what it is.
Did Gaston really deserve to die? He was kind of a douche, but he was trying to rescue a maiden from a monster. The movie slaps. It has a pretty rockin' soundtrack. I love Fat Peter Parker. Most of the Spider-Man movies are not good. There's some Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire is pretty good. Spider-Man 2 is pretty good. Spider-Man 3 not as good. Amazing Spider-Man is not very good. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is real bad. Spider-Man Homecoming is fantastic. I haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home yet. Spider-Man the musical. Isn't that the one where a guy died?
That's why it was so good.
It like barely made any money. The director was a big drama queen.
Well,
yes.
Theater. Yes.
Well, the great thing about Into the Spider-Verse is you get Peter Parker Spider-Man. You actually get 2 Peter Parker Spider-Mans. Oh my god, Andrew Garfunkel was so bad. So bad. Why would you get like a cool kid to play Peter Parker? Like literally he's a skateboarder. And they wrote it so that he doesn't get bullied because it doesn't make any sense for Andrew Garfunkel to get bullied. Like, Spider-Man's a dweeb. Spoilers? What did I spoil? I just said Spider-Man over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that Andrew Garfunkel is involved in is absolute trash. I'm trying to think of a good Andrew Garfunkel movie. I heard he was really good in The Social Network. I didn't see it, but that's what I've heard he's good in.
Mm.
So there's a running joke that since Sam Raimi is making a new Doctor Strange movie, he's actually secretly making Spider-Man 4. The Sam Raimi movies are pretty darn good. Even Spider-Man 3 isn't bad. I mean, it's bad, but the Sam Raimi's ideas are good. The Sandman scene where Sandman comes out of the sand is so great. It's one of the best scenes in anything. When the camera pans back from a single grain of sand, and then he turns into a man, and he loses hope, but then he sees the locket, and he grabs the locket and turns back into a man and climbs out of the pit. Ah, goosebumps. And the rest of the movie sucks, but that is a wonderful moment, and maybe not the greatest movie. Void 16 primed a model, but forgot to put poster putty on the end. Well, Void 16, if you're worried about getting like a plastic bond, you can always just scrape off the primer before you glue.
That's very true.
Andrew Garfunkel has the emotional range of a peanut. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut, he's got some depth. And a monocle.
Yeah. He's really, really well written.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was horrible. The best part was Gwen's death, but why was there a gothic clock tower in the middle of a huge electrical plant? I think the gothic clock tower was next to the electrical plant. I didn't like Gwen's death. I thought it was actually a little bit too graphic and obvious. She's falling for like a half hour. And she slams her head onto the ground and dies. Man, does she ever bite it. It's meant to be shocking because of how brutal it is, but you know from the second she's on screen, she's going to die. It would have been more shocking if she lived. That would have actually been a kind of a cool twist. And they're I heard, what's the actor's name? Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is so badass. I am happy to have him back as Electro. I could see them tweaking it a little, but Jamie Foxx is a shockingly good actor, especially as a bad guy. So I am super excited. Thomas Hayden Church was perfect as Sandman. I agree, Dr. Drokel. Whiskey Tango, I think plastic cement should eat through the primer. It should, but you can always help it out by scraping away the primer. Electro, not Shocker. Is Electro not Shocker? Like, are they not the same guy? Shocker is green tights, yellow lightning bolt head, right? Do I know my Spider-Man deep lore? Maxley Fox. Gwen's death was legit. Well, Maxley Fox, I guess I agree with you that it was legit, but I didn't need it. Also, Andrew Garfunkel wrecks that whole family. He, you know, it. He practically got the dad killed, and then the dad's like, "All right, Spidey, I getcha, but please don't date my daughter because it's only gonna bring trouble." So Spider-Man breaks up with her for a day, and then they get back together. Then Gwen dies. It would feel a little weird to see Andrew Garfunkel Spider-Man smooching Mary Jane, knowing he destroyed the Gwen family. EOB fan club signing off for the night to watch Paranormal Activity 6. I hear it only gets better after 5. Shocktro. Electro is green tights. Shocker is yellow. Quilted. Oh. Too legit. Too legit to quit. Spider jerk. The only part of the movie that made me feel something. I agree. I agree with that. Kilgore Void. I just shit posted on the subreddit. Oh, that's what it's for. That's the correct thing to do.
I have to take a look.
I need to take a look at Spider-Man Far From Home. That looks great.
Oh my god.
This is the Spider-Man. All it took was bringing up the Halloween decorations, and now we're gonna talk about Spider-Man.
The Christmas decorations.
There's also Static Shock, but Static Shock isn't a Spider-Man character. Static Shock was pretty dope, though. I think that was a Fox Kids show. Zerg619.
Hey.
Static Shock is DC, not Marvel. Yeah, those two things are completely different. Those two brands of superheroes, so different.
I sent you that Kilgore Void's referring to.
Ever read Amalgam Comics? I read, the only comics I've read is I read a bunch of Spider-Man comics that I barely remember when I was like 11, but they were mostly old school stuff. I read some Daredevil, that was also old school stuff, and then I've read like some Alan Moore, Watchmen, V for Vendetta, but I'm not much of a comic book. You know what I do love, though?
I've never even seen a comic book.
I love American comics, like Sunday comics. Foxtrot, Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, Pearls Before Swine, Doonesbury. I love that stuff. Beware Dark Claw. It's so dumb. Speaking of identical, StarCraft Space Marines versus Warhammer 40k Space Marines, they're kind of based on each other. Because I think in StarCraft lore, they originally were going to be a 40k game, and then Games Workshop got cold feet and pulled the license, and so StarCraft just made up their own generic space stuff. And went on to be worth way more than Games Workshop. If that had gone through, I think it would have been huge for Games Workshop.
Probably.
It was during the dark time, the age of the Empire.
I like a good. Remember, we used to play StarCraft.
I was never very good, but I love playing some Terran. Also, my
Widely.
computer's about to die, so I gotta plug in.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we do stream often. We usually stream Monday through Saturday from 9 p.m. to 10. And then on Saturday we get a little wild and we go for a few hours. And that's 9 p.m. Central Time. Oh boy, you did it.
Do.
You saved the stream. I was worried.
I need to read Weapon Brown. Weapon Brown. I mean, I've never heard of it. Dr. Drokel is a big fan of Dilbert, as am I. Ratty boy. Ratty boy? First time on the stream. We do this very often. We do this.
I answered that
Well, I'm going to answer it too.
while you were while you were away saving the world.
Takes the American newspaper funnies and drops them into post-apocalyptic hellscapes. I would love to see like Foxtrot dealing with a post-apocalypse. Pearls Before Swine I think would do pretty good. Calvin and Hobbes would obviously do really well. The protagonist is Chuck Weapon Brown. Family circus eating each other. If you can think of a newspaper comic, it's there. Is this like a real thing? Because I feel like a lot of them probably wouldn't give ownership of their characters over to this project.
Yeah, probably not.
Anybody ever read Darby Conley's comic? Get Fuzzy. That was my favorite. Spaceman Spiff. It's safely under the umbrella of parody. Is that true? Is parody just a get out of jail free card for anything? Because here on YouTube, you're not allowed to just do whatever you want and call it parody.
That is true. If you parody a song, you can get sued still. Well, you can get your video taken down. Unless you get the rights.
I wonder if there's a Weird Al clause, though. Which is if Weird Al does it, it's fine.
No, he makes sure that people are okay with it.
I mean, he probably calls them up and is like, dude, can I do your song? And they're like, absolutely, please.
Yep, that's what he does. Because there's people that he's always wanted to do parody songs of, and they said no.
If you say no, you're just leaving money on the table. It can only be a good thing.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like being made fun of. because they're boring. See, you always want to be a clown. You never want to be a hero.
Yes, Maxley Fox, Get Fuzzy, written by Darby Connolly, features a Siamese cat and a Shar-Pei dog. And a disgruntled owner. If you have enough subscribers, you can do whatever you want. I don't think that's true.
Well, yeah, he's referring to Jake Paul, right? Who filmed a dead body in the forest in Japan.
Yeah, but I don't think you can still go watch that video on YouTube.
No, but he got away with it. He's still doing his thing.
Oh, yeah, but you just have to not care. If you don't care, then obviously you can get away with anything. Everyone's really mad at you. Yeah, but are they going to stop watching? No. Perfect.
No. If anything, more people are watching. Yeah, being canceled isn't real. That's not really a real thing.
Yeah, it only works if the person is actually ashamed and stops.
Yeah. Yeah. He films a dead body every time he puts his face in a video. Ooh.
I don't know though. I kind of don't think anyone gets famous by accident. I think there's something to it. Like, I don't think there's anyone putting out pure garbage and they're just rolling in it.
Please leave examples of people putting out pure garbage and rolling in it. I'm sure you could think of a few.
Mm-hmm. After Coolio got mad about Amish Paradise? Amish Paradise is awesome. It's a Weird Al song. As soon as y'all hit 30K, are you gonna go buck wild? Admit it. It'll be biddies and male slave minis everywhere.
You got it. Filthy Frank. I missed that whole thing. I don't know what I know who that is, but I don't know anything beyond the name. But I knew a lot of people that you asked for literal garbage. But I knew a bunch of people that liked Filthy Frank. Ready boy. 16 watching, but only 8 likes. Yeah, that is some bullshit, isn't it?
That's true. That's very true.
What's going on?
We do focus a lot on 40K. Ooh, when we hit
Are we going to do something special when we hit that
we
sub count?
should.
40K minis. We'll spend 1 dislike.
Nice.
Oh, perfect. We'll we'll probably spend $40,000 on models. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we'll buy 1 30K army. Get it? Because it's expensive. Forge World is expensive.
Yeah, I get it. Paint roller mini video.
The Chaplain collection. One of these days, that'll be a video.
Will be a video. I always wait to the end of the stream to upvote, just in case.
That's yep.
That's smart.
Yeah, you don't know what we're gonna do.
You don't know. We could go wild. accidentally turn on the OnlyFans cameras onto this live stream. Ooh, get kicked right off of YouTube.
Actually a collection of miniature modern priests.
Sponsored by the Pope.
Am I a fan of the Iron Warriors? I love the Iron Warriors, but I don't know if I would ever paint one because I play Black Templar, so I paint Black Space Marines nonstop. So I don't know if I want to paint more Black Space Marines, but I love the Iron Warriors. I love the idea of like a chaplain or a dreadnought army.
That'd be pretty cool. Do Imperial Guard.
I do Imperial Guard a little because of my Gene Stealer cult. I have painted some Sentinels, some rank and file troopers, and I plan on adding some more. If I ever kind of expand that army, I think I'll do like it'll be a fake loyalist army, but it'll actually be made up of Gene Stealer cult models.
Ooh.
That way I can play them either way.
It's pretty fun.
AstroTurf Militarum. The Astra Militarum. You know what though? Astra Militarum, doesn't it sound a little cooler than Imperial Guard? I get that they're Imperial Guard and they always will be, but
Craig Turpin, paint some Tau. Oh wait, you already are.
You gotta keep that on the down low. We don't want Nick finding out. Gotta keep that on the hush hush. A successor chapter.
I mean, I already know.
Where the armor is squid pink. I don't know if we even play 40k. Which we're trying out Kill Team. We don't have a lot of time to game.
Yes. We don't have a lot of time to game.
Every once in a while.
Especially this week. This week is crazy. A lot of stuff this week.
I've seen some of the Anvil Industry conversion kits in person, and they are sick for Iron Hands.
Maxley Fox, if I bribe you or tip you $2, will you write Max super small on one of those purity seals?
I could do that.
Ooh.
I could definitely do that. Right there, that one.
But you got to tip first, obviously.
Yeah, tipper didn't happen. Yeah, Dana did some Purple Marines, and Miniac did Purple Marines, I think. He did purple and yellow?
Yeah. Ah, Kilgore Void. Got a fun stream idea for the future. Play a game, but the chat decides all your moves.
Oh my god, Max Lee Fox tipped $2. I'm writing Max on one of these purity seals for sure.
Awesome.
Kilgore Void, adios. Purple Marines, best Marines.
See ya.
All right, what have I got? I got 15 minutes. I can do a purity seal in 15 minutes. Where is my red paint?
This is exciting. And you have to take your shirt off while you do it.
That's another $2. No, that's a $5.
That now.
That's a $5. It's gonna be great though. I'll always remember this stream because of that, and because it'll be on my model forever. Base coat with, yeah. Gotta remember my recipe.
Hilarious.
All right, it'll be this one on the bottom that has a little skull inside of the wax seal. It's gonna be hard to freehand some letters on a tiny purity seal. It's also funny, so.
Do you think we should talk about what happened
today? Oh my goodness! Yeah, why don't you start us out while I work on this purity seal?
All right. So we're working on a video for next week, and we decided to go to Home Depot to get some wood for this video that we're working on. And so we wanted to. What type of wood were we looking for?
Some nice walnut would be amazing, but I could settle for some maple.
Yeah, so we were looking for some of that really nice wood, and so we were looking, and we were looking for the walnut, and they didn't have it, which is weird because we've gotten walnut there before. 'Cause you've gotten some. I think I had some too, like a while ago. And so we were looking at the wood, and then we couldn't find the walnut. And so what did we go with?
Maple.
A maple? Yeah, we went with the maple. And so we had the maple. We saw how much it was. It was like $3, and it didn't say if it was $3 for by foot or if it just said $3. Like it wasn't labeled correctly. And so we wanted to go see how much it cost. So we tried to find someone in the store, and there was basically nobody there. There's nobody around. And so we went all the way to... We could have stolen it. We might as well. We should have. They deserved it. And so we went throughout the store. We found someone, but then they were helping other people. And then we went all the way up, and then there was some 17-year-old. We asked them how much it was. So they scanned it, and then we figured out it was by the foot. And so Jay only needed a foot of the wood. So then we went to go try to find someone to cut it for us. And so we went around, and we went to the because there was nobody in the store, basically. So we went to the person that rents the wood, or not rents the wood, rents the tools out. And so we asked him if he could call someone or whatever, and that guy was just like, okay, do you know what aisle you want to be in? And we were like, the wood is the aisle where the wood is. And he's like, okay, but I need to know the number. He gave us a lot of he gave us so much sass. And so he was like, well, it needs to be between 20 and 24. And Jay was just like, 21. It was aisle 21. And so he's like, okay. And so he half-assed into the mic, can we, there's a person that needs help or whatever. Aisle 21. So we go to aisle 21, and there's a person there. And we find the person, and we ask, oh, are you the person that's going to help us cut the wood? And they're like, no, I don't know how to do that. I'm not trained on the saw. But they were in the wood section, where they don't know how to use the saw. And so then we like, okay, I guess we'll just wait for the person. And then that person was going to go try to find someone that knew how to cut with the saw. And so we were just standing around looking like a couple of assholes, just waiting for someone. And then we saw someone in the distance, some older gentleman. He had the apron on. He had the gloves with him.
He had a shirt that matched the store.
Exactly. He looked like a person that probably knew what he was doing. And so we went, or I stayed put waiting for someone. They went to go find that guy. Then that guy did a half-ass call.
Yeah, because no one in this whole entire place is trained to use the saw that just does straight cuts.
Correct. And so that guy did a half-ass call to try to find someone. And so Jay came back to me, and we're like, well, can we just cut it ourselves? Because if that's possible, we can just cut it. You know, we used to work at a scene shop. We know how to use some saws. And so we went over to the saw. We were looking at it. We put it in there, and we realized that you have to have a pin or something to turn the saw on. So we just left.
Yeah, we left my wood.
We left
in
the wood
saw.
in the saw.
We tried to get 3 different people to come help us. Nobody would. Nobody would tell us what's going on. No one in that whole store was trained to use a saw. And we couldn't even figure out how much it cost because it just said like, you know, $3.50 FL, which or LF.
Yep.
LF. Which I could not figure out what that meant.
Yeah.
It's like, because everything else in that entire aisle was sold by the board. So we were like,
yes,
why would it
except
be
for that.
different for just this one? But why would it be so cheap if it's hardwood?
Right.
And then I took it down and I started to cut it. I started to cut off what I want with this crappy little saw that's like chained to a bench. And then Nick, who's paying attention, reads the sign that says, "This station is for cutting molding." So I give up trying to cut this huge chunk of hard ass maple. No one would help us. No one cared.
I think so Dr. Drickle is LF, which makes sense. It did not say, I don't believe it was LF. I thought it was RL.
Could have been.
Which I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm dumb.
All we needed was someone in the store, you know, with an apron that matched the building to go, and then they would be cut out for us, and then we could buy it.
Right. RL, real life. That's what that stands for. It's the real life price. Which means that the board should have been $3. But certain boards were by the foot and certain boards were not. R.L. Stein.
I love
Goosebumps author.
So we left our piece of wood that I had already taken a saw to a little bit of it. We just left it in the saw. For whoever
Exactly.
actually is able to cut wood to figure out.
And they can cut out 1 linear foot.
And you know what? I've got one last little story about how much Home Depot sucks. So I wanted to buy some pegboard. I went to Home Depot. I picked out my pegboard. I took it over to the saw, and I said, "Hey, can you cut this 4x8 pegboard into 4, 1-foot slices?" And somebody said, "Sure. Let me go get someone who knows how to use the saw, and they will do that for you." So I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And then finally, someone comes up to me, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm ready to help you cut. So what do you need?" And I'm like, "Great. Can you cut this into 4 slices?" And they said, "Oh, we can't cut pegboard. We're not supposed to. It's for safety." And so I'm thinking, is it the little holes? Are the little holes going to jam up the saw?
Exactly. Yeah. Also, why doesn't everyone know how to use the saw?
Yeah, everyone should know how to use a saw. It has like 3 feet of safety equipment on it. Anyone could use it. Home Depot Survivors Relief Fund. That's incredible. Speaking of the relief fund, I hope you guys can see this, but this is now a purity seal that says Max.
Oh, Kilgore Void.
So Max got their purity seal.
You are
Oh,
God.
that's great. You know what, Kilgore Void? I'm gonna take that $5, and tomorrow I'm gonna go to a real hardware store and get some nice wood with that for the video.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so
I don't even
funny.
think we explained it very well. Like, this store is packed with customers, but there's no one to help you.
I request the wood appears on the stream.
Can probably do that, even as a cameo.
That's so funny.
But yeah, all I wanted was somebody wearing a t-shirt or wearing a button-up shirt that matched the building to be like, oh, great. How much you need? All right, great. Let me cut this out for you. Burp. Perfect. Oh, and I got one more quick Home Depot story for y'all where they screwed me over. So I'm there with my sister. Pegboard can get caught in the saw teeth and cause a bad kickback. Cut slowly to avoid that happening. The holes cause kickback? It's a wall-mounted saw though. There is no kickback.
That's what I was gonna say. It's on that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a standing saw.
I could, because like maybe on a table saw. I haven't.
It could be. I mean, I took it home and cut it out of my radial arm saw, and it cut like butter, because it's just particle board.
What's this other story?
Yeah. So me and my sister are working on a little project. She wants me to build her some little plinths to house her art for an exhibition she's doing. And so we buy a whole bunch of stuff. We got it all in the cart. We go up to check out, and it's a bunch of lumber. Like there's like 3 pieces of lumber, and so we get up there and they're like, "Hey, can you go back into the store and get the numbers?" And I was like, "What do you need?" And he's like, "Yeah, just go back to all the spots where you picked out the stuff, take a picture, and then bring the picture back to me." You're a lumber store. Can I really not say I've got a 6 foot, 2 6-foot 2x4s, and 1 1.5, 1x4 poplar? You can't punch that in? So I had to leave all the stuff there with people waiting behind me. I had to walk back through the store, take pictures of all the things, and then come back and show them my phone. Aren't employees supposed to do that? Yeah, I would say there are. Or how about in your lumber store, you just be able to figure it out? Oh, there's no sticker. Well, we know it's a treated 2x4, so I can punch. If I go to the supermarket with a bunch of produce, they can figure it out. They can be like, oh, this is Brussels sprouts, non-organic. Boop, boop, boop. Weigh it. Done. For hundreds of products. Home Depot does not have the world's largest selection of lumber. He could have figured it out. He just didn't want to.
It doesn't have a... Yeah. It doesn't have a great one. They don't have any...
No.
Walnut.
Yeah, I can kind of understand the pegboard being a little finicky, but I don't think there's a huge chance of some catastrophe because of the holes.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Fox. I gotta say though, minimum wage in the U.S. is crazy. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to try in that job. Just
For
saying.
sure.
Yep. I mean, that's exactly that's where
Yeah.
we're at. And I think that's just what it is. But you can have a person that, cuts the wood or is around. Ah, yes. Kill or avoid, but you're a valued member of the team.
Yeah, there might be something with pegboard, but I ran it through my old ass radial arm saw and I had no problems. And I think you could probably just line it up so you don't hit the holes.
Probably could. Ooh, Kill or avoid. Remind me tomorrow. I'll share my theme park horror stories.
Ooh, I can't wait. I don't have any theme park horror stories because I don't like theme parks.
I don't like theme parks either.
Speaking of theme parks, it's about that time, folks. So, this is Eons of Battle signing off.
Yes, watch the video from today if you haven't watched it, and we'll be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central.